Hey good people, hola mi gente, MsMalcolmHughes here. Welcome back. Welcome to another Short Story Thursday. And today we are going to discuss Dear Morgan by Ashley Antoinette. Let's get into it. So Dear Morgan is actually a love letter from Messiah to Morgan. It happens when Messiah is in the hospital. This is presumably the last letter that he ever wrote to her before he died in the Butterfly series. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's very touching. Messiah acknowledges a lot. He acknowledges the ways in which he's hurt Morgan. He acknowledges that he couldn't give her the love that she deserved or desired, or that he even wanted to be able to give to her because he just didn't know how. He just didn't have the capacity. I also love that he touches on the reality that he understands that he should have never had a shot at Morgan, and that he would have never been able to reach the pedestal in which Ethic had her on, and that she had to step off that pedestal to come to him, which is just so important because it also acknowledges the reality of their dynamic, right? Even for her youngness, her youth, her lack of self-awareness at this point, Morgan is someone who from birth has been prepped and primed to be of a certain stature in life. And Messiah understands that. He's always known that. We knew that from the books, but to have it written in this letter form just feels so much more intimate. And it seems as if he's doing a lot more self-reflection that we don't always get from Messiah because we're not always in his thoughts in that way. So to really have that firsthand account of that end of life fear and how he also still tries to show her love, right? He lets her know that like the way you loved me, you can't love anyone else like that. And it is sometimes a sad truth, right? A lot of people don't know what to do with a certain amount of love. They don't think that they deserve it. They don't think they're worthy of it. They've never seen it for themselves. So they sometimes feel as if they should reject it or abuse it, and not even intentionally. They just don't know what to do with it. And that's what also part of what we see here. And so in trying to make amends for that, Messiah at the end is like, but I've set you up with certain things. I've left you with protection. I've left you with love, right? I've given you a family. And he means that in Amik and Issa, and saying that, you know, my brothers will always be here for you. And then he does wrap it up, which always complicates the story later on. But he does wrap it up with saying, you know, I've left a much better man for you who will be able to love you in ways that I can never love you, because he was raised by a woman who taught him love. And this woman will also help to raise you and help to walk you into surviving womanhood and what all that means. And of course, he's talking about Amik. And so, like I said, that always complicates the story later on, because when he gets back and realizes that Amik has done exactly what was requested of him, he is irate. He's enraged, which like is always unfair because this is what you requested. And granted, Amik had the desire, but you know how it is when you're the one who's on and popping and everybody wants you. So of course, Amik already had a crush, but he was never going to do anything about it because obviously Messiah was with Morgan, so he was going to respect the relationship that his friend had. But Messiah opened the floodgates, right? And he said that, you know, look out for my shorty, look out for her when I'm not here. And he did just that. And he did it better. But, you know, it's an argument for another day. I know that the Messiah wives feel differently, but I'm Team Amik over here. But what I appreciated about this letter was just the full disclosure into getting to see Messiah and just his raw vulnerability on the brink of death. Those last thoughts when there's nothing to be hidden. You're no longer standing on pride. You're no longer hiding behind ego. And we get to see him in his just full vulnerability, and that was refreshing to see from Messiah. So this was a really short story, not a lot here, just a letter where he really expresses himself, and he does it in a surprisingly succinct fashion. And so I definitely think it does add to the Butterfly series, right? It gives more context there. It answers some of the questions that we've always had. And that's the interesting thing with these short stories, is that I do feel as if they add additional background and context, and sometimes seemingly necessary background to the story. Granted, we have the stories as they are. No one's really complaining, except for with that last book, but no one's really complaining before Butterfly 5. You don't fully understand that you're missing out on something, but you know, you are. So these short stories are definitely ones that I think that everyone should check out, especially if you're already embedded in the ethic land world and you're invested in these characters. So that's it for me. I am currently reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I was reading it in preparation for the movie. I didn't finish it in time for the movie, but that book review will be coming soon. I'm currently out of the country, but I do plan on going to see the movie once I'm back stateside, and then I will give you all a book versus film adaptation here on the channel. So definitely look forward to those. That is it for me. Until next time, as always, I am MsMalcolmHughes, one who believes that books are sometimes better than people. Please remember to give time, to be kind to each other, and to have the very best day of your life on purpose. Peace, bravo, adios.